The first two outside shots were recorded in Gary's mod, but the rest was done in Source Filmmaker. And how did I animate this in Source Filmmaker? Most, if not all, those familiar with the program are gonna hate how I did it. I used shots instead of keyframes. This is how I've done pretty much most of my Source Filmmaker bits. It's not like I haven't used keyframes before, but with the stop motion animatic style I was going for, it would have been hard to get the timing right, so I opted to do what felt easiest for me, even if it felt like a huge 3D animation sin to do so. I had some issues with rendering a few shots since I originally did it as an image sequence rather than rendering every frame individually, but you'll see here that I had no choice but to re-render a few of those scenes because the lighting, despite not being changed in between shots, was just not rendering right. And you can even see in this frame too, after re-rendering it, I didn't feel like trying to fix it again, so I just added that small spark sound effect to give the illusion that maybe the vending machine in the back sparked or something, but I don't think anyone would have even questioned it besides me. I have only two unused shots that didn't end up making the cut. This one of Alex when Gordon asks her about video games, and this one with a bunch of rebels waiting inside the building. I ended up not liking how it looked and came up with the idea of using clips from my other videos for that one scene, which ended up looking better in my opinion. When it came to animating Gordon, I had a lot of trouble trying to get him to express the way I wanted to, mainly the eyebrows. I don't think this is the fault of the creator of the model because I don't think they were really thinking about making Gordon emote seriously, considering this is gorgeous Freeman we're talking about here, but I'm stubborn and I'm gonna keep using the model. I didn't record much of the actual animated making process because it would have been mostly just been me doing a tiny bit of work and then tabbing out to look at something else, or I would just do this because I was getting bored, but I do have a lot of screenshots of technical goof-ups or off-camera looks at how I did certain things, so here's a compilation of all those. Now, it's no surprise that I'm not a voice actor. I'm bad at reading scripts, my speech impediment gets in the way of it a lot, but given this kind of project requires me to act as myself, kinda, I had to, even if it sounds cringe or whatever buzzword that you want to use to describe it. I know it's really off-putting hearing my voice coming out of a silent protagonist's mouth, and I know I sound nowhere near masculine enough, but like, what do you want me to say? Sorry that my non-existent balls never dropped? All jokes aside, while I did have some fun recording the voice lines for this, it was actually kind of hard to at the same time actually getting it done, because at first it was mostly just because I didn't have any motivation. There were chronic issues plaguing me, and then my basement flooded, so not only would there be a lot of noise downstairs that my mic could have picked up, but I was very, understandably, stressed about that. I didn't save any bloopers, but the one thing that I can share is that there is a take that is actually 3 separate takes stitched together. I'll show you, and you can guess which parts I used for the video. I know that we're supposed to help these guys, but I've been dreading getting up to this point. I don't like escort missions, I told you that, right? Have you ever played Resident Evil 4? Dead Rising, or, have you ever even played a video game before? I know that we're supposed to help these guys, but I've been dreading getting here. I don't like escort missions. I told you that, right? Have you ever played Resident Evil 4, Dead Rising, or have you ever played a video game before? I know that we're supposed to help these guys, but I've been dreading this moment. I don't like escort missions. I told you that, right? Like, have you ever played Resident Evil 4, Dead Rising, or have you ever even played a video game before? I know. We need to keep moving. We're on borrowed time and I'm not about to squander it because I'm scared. I know. We have to keep moving. We're on borrowed time here, and I'm not about to squander it just because I'm scared. So, that corruption, huh? I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. The audio for the corruption itself came from a Super Mario Broth post about crashing Mario Kart Wii. I thought the sound of it was perfect for what is essentially the world struggling to keep itself together with the cracks of the corruption coming through. As for Gordon's glitchy noises himself, this comes from a very old Pokemon Yellow video called The Screaming Pikachu Glitch. And, yeah, that sure is Pikachu screaming. I've actually used this audio before years ago in another animation of mine, but I edited it so it didn't sound super noticeable, but again, with the other sound, it just sounded right for me. Alex uses voice lines from both Half-Life 2 and the ones from Half-Life Alyx, because the latter pretty much had what I think she would say in that situation. Her little head movement here is meant to be her clearing her throat because of the change in voice, but I don't know if it really comes across that way or not, since I didn't really add an audio indicator of that being what's happening. So I don't want to spoil too much about the story that I'm telling in regards to this playthrough. I haven't told Murphy much about it despite them co-starring the series, but I just like surprising people, and I feel like if I reveal too much, it won't make it as interesting as I want it to be. Baby's first ARG, basically, but I can at least explain a little bit about Gordon and what his deal is. So this Gordon is not really the same one as my Black Mesa playthrough, but also is? It's kinda hard to explain. Him constantly flickering between different models, while I originally did this because I thought it looked cool and I didn't know which model to use at the time because there's just so many. In Universe, it's the fact that my Gordon is unstable. Not just mentally. He only glitches out like that every now and then, but I feel like it would happen a lot more when he's under a lot of stress or whenever he's in stasis. It's like a chronic condition. You can't really control it and you just have to live with it. Everyone either doesn't acknowledge it, or in Alex's case, it'll startle them a little bit at first, but you get used to it. Gordon is me, but I am not Gordon. He shares some of my memories and behaviors, but he isn't aware that he has the spark. The spark being, well, the thing that lets characters be controlled by us, the players. It's something that's actually hinted in Half-Life 2 itself.
Your bright face obscures your darker mask. We call you Sib, although your mind and being are a mystery to us. Far distant eyes look out through your... Something secret steers us both. We shall not name it.
But the way I portray it is a bit different and a part of something much larger. But, like I said, I shan't spoil anymore. By the time the next video comes out, I'm sure there'll be more behind the scenes stuff for you to look at. In the meantime, though, this is where I get off.